अनन्यरप्यं लक्ष्मीं सिंहं शरणं प्रपद्ये श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्य कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि ॐ अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः ॐ अस्मत्परमगुरुभ्यो नमः ॐ अस्मत्सर्वगुरुभ्यो नमः लक्ष्मीनाथसमारम्भां नाथयामनमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् नित्यमच्युतपदां जयुग्मरुक्मव्यामोहतस्य वितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोः भगवतोऽस्य दैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये श्रीमते निगमान्तमहादेशिकाय नमः नारायण नारायणम्मा
Just read Tanya Swami. Please read to Chaitanya. Vedanta Deshkadinna Prabhupada Narayana
Narayana Narayana. Coming back to our Sri Stuti, we have seen actually the Kalyana Gunas of Maharishmi are surpassing even the Kalyana Gunas of Lord Shivan Narayana. That may look strange. Sriman Narayana is the Paramapurusha. Then how can Maharishmi overtake Sriman Narayana? That may be another thing. The question is, Sriman Narayana, for every activity, just looks at Maharishmi. And that Maharishmi, just with the movement of her eyebrows, will give the instructions to Sriman Narayana how the worlds have to be, Srishti Sthiti Layam. We have seen Yat Sankalpat Bhavati Kamale Yatra Dehim Yavinsham. Janma Stema Pralaya Rachana Jangama Jangamanam. That's Sriman Narayana who can create, maintain and dissolve all the universes. Srishti Sthiti Laya Karaka. He himself is there enjoying Padalaksha Rasankam. Laksha, that red paint. It need not be red paint, it is that red kind of a pigment that is there, obtained from the plants, etc. The decorative red markings of Mahalakshmi are sticking onto the chest of Lord Sriman Narayana. She always sitting there. And Bhagavan's luster is increasing because of that red marks on his chest. So Sri Mahalakshmi has so much attachment to Lord Sriman Narayana. Nishpratyuha pranaya ghatitam devi nityanapayam vishnustam chet yanapadi gunam dvandva manyonya lakshyam seshashchittam vimala manasam modayascha shrutinam sampadyante viharana vidhau yasya shayya viseshaha. So this Sri Mahalakshmi and this Sriman Narayana are an inseparable pair, Divya Dampatis. Dampati, both wife and husband should be there. So in our philosophy, we have no room to think that Mahalakshmi is a Jivatma. Because Bhagavad Ramanuja, none other than Adisesha, who is there 24/7 with Bhagavan Sriman Narayana and Sri Mahalakshmi, says, Atmanurupaya Shriya Saha Asinam. Shila Rupa Guna Vilasadivihi Atmanurupaya Shriya Saha Asinam. She is just a mirror image, Atmanurupaya. There's practically no difference between them. An inseparable pair, Divya Dampatis. And she is known as Nityana Payini. Always enjoying her place on the chest of Bhagavan Sriman Narayana. Always on the chest of Sriman Narayana. If at all you see any image without that Srivatsam, that means people did not know how to make those images. They did not follow any scriptures. And these two, Sriman Narayana and Sri Mahalakshmi, are the embodiment of infinite number of Kalyana Gunas, virtues. And they're mutually identical. If you know A, you know B. You know B, you know A automatically. If you know about one person, you automatically know about the other person. If you have seen one person, it is as good as you have seen both. Or rather to say, she alone knows Lord Sriman Narayana and he alone knows what Sri Mahalakshmi is. That combination of Sri Mahalakshmi and Sriman Narayana is beyond our imagination. Because we always compare ourselves. Let's say, Divakar is there. Divakar has a wife. Padma, she has a husband. Sadashiva has a wife. Revati has a husband. Supriya has a husband. Kamala has a husband. Vijayalakshmi has a husband. Gopal Reddy has a husband. Vasudha has a husband. We always think wife and husband relationship is just like ordinary human beings. There will be difference of opinions. There will be arguments. Of course, there are some pleasant moments. So we think like this on our level, like a Kupastha Mandukas, like a frog in a well. No. This Sri Mahalakshmi and Sriman Narayana, the one fact that she is Nityanapayini, the one and the only one fact that both of them are the embodiments of Ananta Kalyana Gunas. There is no end for their Kalyana Gunas. If Mahalakshmi accepts every child out of her unimaginable compassion, Lord Sriman Narayana accepts the same Jivatmas who he otherwise would have rejected. Because Mahalakshmi has recommended, he is accepting. It is like to say that Sriman Narayana will go to any extent to accept the suggestions of Sri Mahalakshmi. Because Sri Mahalakshmi alone has the power to convince Sriman Narayana. When you said you will never tell a lie and you will never speak a second word contradicting the first sentence, and when you yourself said even if Ravana comes and does Sharanagati, then I will forgive him. And if he wants even a kingdom, I will rather give Ayodhya to him. If that is the case, when you can forgive Ravana, why not this Jivatma? She knows how to argue with Sriman Narayana. It is not argue. She knows how to convince Sriman Narayana. Our problem, say for example, I don't know, say Vasudha is there. Say if Vasudha has an argument with her husband, why is she having an argument with her husband? Because she is not able to effectively communicate herself with her husband. It is not that the husband is not trying to understand. Every one of us in every argument must think, okay, it is my problem that I could not convince him to understand what exactly is there going on in my mind. Try to convince him. Try to convey the language in a better way. Try to understand the language in which he understands. Try to show the same body language. Everything counts. Everything counts. Your expression, your selection of words, your body language, your attitude, all these things count. And those things, Mahalakshmi is an expert. 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 Mahalakshmi is an expert That is why that Mahalakshmi had a unique place on the chest of Sriman Narayana. If not, do you think Sriman Narayana will give such a unique place for anyone else? So, this unique couple with their infinite number of Kalyana Gunas are protecting all of us because he knows her and she knows him. And where do these two people, the Divya Dampatis, reside? Very clearly, Mahatma Vedanta Deshika says, Seshashchittam Vimalamanasam Maulayascha Shrutinam Sampadyante Viharana Vidhau Yasya Shayya Visesha. When we develop that pure love for the Divya Dampatis, okay, you develop the pure love for Krishna. That means it automatically includes the pure love for Mahalakshmi. You developed unimaginable attachment to Mahalakshmi. That automatically includes Sriman Narayana also. So this Divya Dampatis, the hearts, the minds of the pure devotees who have truly surrendered to them, Sreshas. Sreshas means generally the Jivatmas which have pure love for Sriman Narayana. When you say Srimat, that Sri is included there. The pure hearts of all the devotees, rather the pure thoughts, the loving thoughts, are the places of enjoyment for Mahalakshmi and Narayana. Are Maulayascha Shrutinam. Shrutis are the Vedas. The highest portion of the Vedas, called Veda Anta, means the concluding portion of the Vedas, are called the Vedanta, Upanishads. Vedaischa sarvai ahameva vedyo Vedanta krudveda videva chaham. The purpose of Upanishads, the purpose of Vedanta, the purpose of philosophical thinking process is to understand that Supreme Lord Sriman Narayana. Having studied the Vedas and still people are commenting, oh, every god is the same, everything. What kind of Vedam they have studied? It is almost like when we were children, we used to by heart the stories. Once upon a time there was a king, once upon a time there was a king, once upon a time. That's all. We didn't even care. What is that once upon a time? Just like that. We memorize things without even knowing one word what exactly it means. So, having studied the Vedas and the Upanishads, if they have not realized Vasudeva Sarvam Iti, that Supreme Lord Paravasudeva is everything, that Vedic knowledge is of no use. Medaschetha Palani, the chanting of the Veda mantras without having developed a pure loving attachment to Lord Sriman Narayana is only like, you people, you go and do exercise. What do you want to do with exercise? Because you have excess fat in the body, you want to burn it. Same thing, you do exercise and you burn your fat, or you go for a long walk and you burn your fat. Same thing, these people chant Vedas at such a high pitch, even to the extent of sweating, only to burn their fat. Meda, fat, cheda, to burn it, to disintegrate it. Therefore, let us develop the pure love for the Divya Dampatis so that the Divya Dampatis will enjoy staying in our thoughts as described in the Upanishads, because these are the sporting grounds, Keli Vanas, for the eternal couple. Uddeshyattam janani bhajatohur ujjitopadi gandham प्रत्यग्रूपे हविषैवयोः एकशेषित्वयोगात् पद्मे पत्युः तव च निगमैः नित्यमन्विष्यमाणो नावच्छेदं भजति महिमा नर्तयन् मानसं नः. Janani, she is the universal mother. She is the mother for everyone. You may say, what about Rakshasas? Yes. As a mother, she feels bad even for the Rakshasas. As you all know, there was a very funny incident. After the whole war was over between Rama and Ravana, Hanuman is sent to Sita Devi with the message that the war has ended, Ravana is killed, Rama is victorious. Sita Devi said, then why delay? Take me to my Lord Rama. I will, but give me 2 minutes. Not even 2 seconds I can give you, Hanuman. But by the way, why do you need 2 minutes? He pointed to all the female demons and said, these female demons harassed you, 24/7 tortured you. In 2 minutes I'll kill all of them and then take you to Rama. She said, you cannot touch them. Trijata did Sharanagati on her behalf and on behalf of the other people. And I have given them forgiveness. I gave them protection here and hereafter. Papanamba Shubhanamba Vadharhanam Plavangamaha Karyam Karunamaryena na kaschit naparadhyati. Na kaschit naparadhyati. There is nobody who has not committed a mistake. There is nobody. Well, this is how our Acharyas have interpreted this word. There is nobody who have not committed a mistake. Then Hanuman asked, Madam, you think there is nobody who did not commit a mistake means, did Rama also commit a mistake? Do you mean that way? She said, absolutely. Rama is Dharmamurti. How can he commit a mistake? You don't know Hanuman. Look at this Ravana. Such a cruel person. He abducted me, tortured me, gave me ultimatum. But still, Rama took 1 year to kill him. Even in the battlefield, he could have killed him the previous day. But he said, you are very tired. Go home and come fresh tomorrow. Then I'll kill you. He gave so many opportunities to this Ravana to correct himself, to change. But 14,000 in Rakshasas in Janasthana, Rama did not even give them an opportunity. Rama did not threaten. Yes, they were torturing the Maharshis. Yes, the Maharshis have shown a huge pile, almost looking like a hill of bones. Of all the Maharshis, the Rakshasas have come, killed and eaten, and threw the bones there. Agreed. Rama gave a promise that he will protect them, that he will make sure that this Janasthana is rid of all the Rakshasas. Yes, but first he could have given a warning to them, to the 14,000 Rakshasas. Get away from here, otherwise I'll kill you. He could have threatened. He could have killed one, the head of the 14,000, and would have sent a message to all the people. No. With no warning, no, Rama, just within a matter of 96 minutes, killed 16,000 Rakshasas in Janasthana. That he should not have done. That is the kindness of Maharishmi. That even though they are Rakshasas, Rama should have given them a warning at least before killing them. Not only that, even to Ravana who abducted her, still she wanted him to live happily. Atmanam upamam krutva sreshudareshu ramyatam. Yadi jivitum ichhasi. Ravana, I do not want you to die a miserable death at the hands of Rama in the battlefield. If you feel it is below your dignity to do Sharanagati at the feet of Lord Rama, at least be friendly with Rama. Vidita sarvadharmajnaha Sharanagata vatsalaha What a beautiful way Sita Devi is telling Ravana. If somebody abducted you and is torturing you for so long, will any one of us have the patience to advise him, I want you to live happily with your family and other people. Go, do Sharanagati to Rama. If it is below your dignity to do Sharanagati, at least make friends with Rama. He is a Sharanagata Vatsala. He is a Sharanagata Vatsala. That is the status of Mahalakshmi. That she has unimaginable compassion for all the living entities. So Janani, she is the universal mother for everyone. So both of them, with all their infinite number of Kalyana Gunas, and when pure Prapannas, with an abundance of love, make any of the offerings, it is actually meant to both of them. Ekaseshitva yogat. When we come to the realization that I am a true servant of the Lord, that is prapatti. That aham bhavam, that I-ness, that I and my should go. And unfortunately, that I and my is like a devil sitting on our head and will not go away that easily. So Sharanagati is an attempt how to get rid of that I and my. Every word we speak should show our humility, our subservience to the Supreme Lord. And this kind of the compassionate nature of the Divya Dampatis, even the Vedas are trying to understand. Even though Vedas means to know, Veda means to know the Supreme Lord. But even Vedas are failing to understand the true nature or the extent of the compassion of the Divya Dampatis. Even when Vedas are not able to understand the extent of compassion of the Divya Dampatis, how can we, the Jivatmas with limited jnana, especially jnana sankocham, means knowledge that is there having a contraction. Sankocham, Vyakocham is expansion, Sankocham is contraction. With our knowledge that is there very, very limited, how can we ever understand when Vedas themselves are failing to understand? At least as a first step, the minute you think of the divine couple, Mahalakshmi and Narayana, may a wave of happiness make your heart dance in ecstasy. Can we really do that? Yes, when the heart is pure. But when the heart is filled with hatred, jealousy, arrogance, anger, unimaginable desires, our heart is not able to enjoy the presence of the Divya Dampatis. When you do your best to get rid of these unwanted qualities, 6 enemies that are there inside, and when the mind is constantly engaged in a battle with the senses, Because these are 6 invisible enemies, kamam, desire. Can you define how desire looks like? Is it 6 feet tall? Is it male or female, that desire? There is no description for that. But we all know how a desire overpowers a person. If you have a desire, people go to any extent to fulfill their desires. Krodham, anger. Can you define what is anger? Is it male, female? Is it 500 pounds in weight? You don't know anything about anger, but see how the anger possesses you. In anger, you do not hesitate even to hurt others with your words, physical assault. Our attachment, our ego, our jealousy, our greediness. We all know we cannot take this money with us, but see how greedy we are. I mean, I'm not telling about anyone in particular, but it's a general observation. As a general observation, you see many people, they go to temples, they pray. When they pray, they ask for the highest benefit that they can think of. Swami, give me 1,000 crores. Swami, give me a 10-room big mansion. Okay? They are asking for the highest thing that they can think of. But when it comes to after they're praying, after they're telling all their desires to Bhagavan, they come out, as they come out, they'll find a hundi there. You know what they do, right? They open their wallet and look for the lowest denomination to put in the hundi. When they're asking, they wanted the highest benefit from God. But when they have to put $1 in the hundi, they will not close their eyes and keep their hands in the wallet and say, let me take whatever comes to my hand and put it in the hundi. No. We'll be searching and searching and searching. Oh my God, this is $100 bill. This is $20 bill. This is $10 bill. Is there a dollar bill? Is there a dollar bill? We'll keep on searching. Greediness. Our greediness has no end. Even when people have 1,000 crores, they keep on cheating others to make it 2,000 crores, to make it 10,000 crores. Actually, you don't need that much money for one life. We are so much attached to moham. Oh, even my son should not worry, my grandson should not worry. As though you are going to make their life very happy with your money. Who knows, they may become drug addicts, they may become alcoholics. Money is not going to help. We are not trying to be religious because we have become slaves to the 6 weaknesses. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsaryas. The more you think you are trying to overcome, the more we are becoming slaves to all these things. It is only through the mercy of the Divya Dampatis we can get away from the 6 bad qualities, the 6 internal enemies. If not for his mercy, look at all the people. Could any one of them overcome their simple anger? Look at a great Mahatma, Vishwamitra. Rama had so much respect for Vishwamitra. But look at him. Unimaginable arguments and fights with Vasishtha. Even to the extent of Vishwamitra killing Vasishtha's son Shakti. Not proper. Vishwamitra getting so angry, trying to send a Chandala, Trishanku to Swargam against the Dharma. Vishwamitra going out of his way to make sure that Harishchandra will tell a lie. They could not control their anger. That is the problem. Anger is our worst enemy. So, what exactly we have to learn is, it is only with the mercy of the Divya Dampati. It is only with the mercy of the Divya Dampatis we can expect to make our hearts clean, so that what even the Vedas could not understand, if we have to understand, even though it is impossible, it could be possible only with the mercy of the Divya Dampatis. That is why they say, the other day somebody asked, what is it that we can ask Bhagavan? Nityam niraparadeshu kainkaryeshu niyakshvamam. Swami, just engage me in your service. Nityam, every day, niraparadeshu, without committing offenses. Because we commit so many mistakes. Nityam, eternally, niraparadeshu, without committing mistakes, offenses. Tava nitya kinkaratam. Kainkaryeshu niyakshvamam. Engage me in your service. Tava nitya kinkaratam prardhaye. Hey Krishna, I am only begging you for one thing, your eternal service. Don't even ask for moksham. Mahatma Kulasikhar Alvar says, Diviva Bhuva Narakova Narakantaka Prakamam Avadhirita Sharadara Vindau Charnavati Marnepi Chintayami. Krishna, as long as you can give me your service, as long as you can give me the fortune of serving you too, it doesn't matter, Krishna. Diviva, you want to take me to heavens? Go ahead. Bhuviva, you want to keep me on the planet Earth? Okay. Narakova, you want to send me to hell? No problem. But make sure I will not forget you. That's what we have to think. That is the only thing we can ask. Tava nitya kinkaratam prardhaye. Bless me with your eternal service, Krishna. Pashyantishu shrutishu paritah suri brundena sardham madhye kruchyat triguna palakam nirmitam sthana bhedam विश्वाधीश प्रणयिनि सदा विभ्रमद्यूत वृत्तौ ब्रह्मेशाद्या ददति युवयोः अक्षशार प्रचारम्. The glory of Mahalakshmi and Narayana is described here. Vishwadhisha Pranayini. This Mahalakshmi is the beloved spouse of the Supreme Lord of all universes, Sriman Narayana. Vishwa Adhisha. Vishwa, not limited to one universe that is ours, not limited to this Brahmandam. How many Brahmandas? Innumerable Brahmandas. And that Supreme Lord of all the universes, his beloved spouse is this Sri Mahalakshmi. Hey Sri Mahalakshmi, when yourself and the Supreme Lord Sriman Narayana are playing a small game of chess, a simple game. So to play the game of chess, you need a chessboard. And what is the chessboard? Prakriti. Prakriti with the three gunas, sattva guna, rajo guna, tamo guna, is the chessboard. With all the appropriate spaces marked just as in the chessboard, which way to go. And you need some spectators The spectators for the game of chess played by Mahalakshmi and Narayana are the Vedas, the liberated souls, Mukta Jivatmas, and the eternally liberated souls, Nitya Shuris. We have three types of Jivatmas. Baddha Jivatmas, the souls that are there bound by their karma and becoming prisoners. We, the bound souls, are like prisoners for our own karma. These Jivatmas are bound by our karma. Baddha Jivatmas. Literally, Baddha means kept in the prison. Then, either by practicing pure Bhakti Yoga or by doing Sharanagati, when we are fortunate to attain salvation, we are called liberated souls. The souls that came out of their karma bandhanas, the souls which are having enough karma in the form of sanchita karma for the next millions of births, because of their single act of Sharanagati, Bhagavan has written off all that karma, all that sanchita karma. So they are becoming eligible now to get liberated from the clutches of this prakriti, of our karma. So the spectators, the audience for the game are the Mukta Jivatmas and the Nitya Shuris, eternally liberated souls, those who never took birth because of karma. Ananta, Garuda, Vishwaksena, and personified Ayudhas, Sudarshana, Panchajanya, Kaumudaki, Nandaki, Sharngam, the Divya Bhushanas, Kaustubham, Srivatsam, etc., Vaijayanti Mala. Nitya Shuris, eternally liberated souls. These are the spectators for the game. Now you need some chess pieces to move around. And who are those chess pieces? Brahma, Isha, Adya, Dadhati Yuvayoho, Akshashara Pracharan. The chess pawns, you move in the game of chess, you move the pawns. And what are those pawns in the game of chess played by Sri Mahalakshmi and Sriman Narayana? Brahma, Rudra, Indra, all the Devi Devatas. They are the chess pieces to be moved around. Just as you know, you move the chess pieces whichever way you want, in whatever direction you want. And we all know, when one game of chess is over, you start another game. When one Mahayuga is over, another Mahayuga. 4 yugas put together is one Mahayuga. 1,000 such Mahayugas, 1 day of Brahma. Rather 12 hours of Brahma. Night time of Brahma, equally another 1,000 Mahayugas. And when all the 100 years of Brahma are over, the game is over. The next game begins. That is the reason why we say in the Sankalpam, Adya Brahmanaha Dvitiya Parardhe Shveta Varaha Kalpe Vaivasuta Manvantare Kalyuge Prathame Pade Shar Varinama Samvatsare. In the eternality of time, for the present Brahma, who is the 7th Brahma, Purvardham is gone, Uttarardham. Purvardham, first 50 years is gone. Uttarardham, Brahma is in the second half of his life, after the 50 years. Prathame Pakshe, Prathame Mase, Prathame Harine. For Lord Brahma, 50 years are over. In the 51st year, first day, So this much we say, even though this Brahma lives for millions, Rudra, Indra, etc., all the 33 crores of Devi Devatas are none but the chess pieces that can be easily shuffled, shunted, moved from here to there, here to there to here to there to here. And how are the pieces moved? At the pleasure, at the discretion of the players. And the players here are Sri Mahalakshmi and Sriman Narayana. The game is chess. Srushti Sthiti Layam. The chessboard is the nature, Prakriti. The spectators are Mukta Jivatmas, Nitya Shuris, and the Vedas. Chess pieces are Brahma, Rudra, Indra, etc. People could not accept this kind of philosophy at the highest level of perfection. Now, अस्येषान तमसि जगतः संशयन्ति मुकुन्दं लक्ष्मी पद्मा जलधितनया विष्णुपत्नीन्दिरेति. यन्नामानि श्रुतिपरिपणान्येव मा वर्तयन्तो नावर्तन्ते दुरितपवनप्रेरिते जन्मचक्रे. So here, the supremacy of Mahalakshmi is one more time glorified. How is the Sri Mahalakshmi? Asya Ishana Tamasi Jagataha Samsayanti Mukundam. Hey Mahalakshmi, you have attached yourself to the Supreme Lord Sri Mukunda. Samsayanti Mukunda, like an inseparable pair. You attached yourself to the Supreme Lord Sriman Narayana, called Mukunda. Mukunda, one who gives mukti, is called Mukunda. Because that Supreme Lord Sriman Narayana is the emperor of all the universes. Mahalakshmi automatically becomes the Maharani, the empress of all the universes. And this Mahalakshmi is glorified by various names. Lakshmi, Padma, Jaladhi Tanaya. Jaladhi means ocean. Tanaya, daughter. Jaladhi Tanaya, the daughter of the ocean. Rather Kshira Sagara, Kshirabdik Kanya. Vishnu Patni, the wife of Sri Mahavishnu. It is not just wife, Patni, following absolute Pativrata Dharma. Patni. Indira. This is how Mahalakshmi is glorified in all the Vedas. Lakshmi, Padma, Jaladhi Tanaya, Vishnu Patni Indireti. If only we are fortunate to do Sharanagati at the feet of that Mahalakshmi, we are guaranteed to escape from the repeated and endless cycles of birth and death. Navartante durita pavana prerite janma chakre. Janma chakre, this is like a wheel that keeps on moving up and down, up and down, up and down. We are taking birth after birth after birth, birth, death, birth, death, birth, death. Unfortunately, we are not doing anything to stop this vicious cycle of birth and death. But those fortunate jivatmas, after thousands and thousands of births, bahunam janmanam ante, when they come to the platform of absolutely surrendering to Lord Sriman Narayana, when they come to the absolute platform of surrendering to Sriman Narayana, that is when they get liberated. Anybody who surrenders to Sri Mahalakshmi is guaranteed moksham. She herself can give moksham if she is by herself. Like she was alone in Ravana's Ashokavanam, Trajata did Sharanagati, she accepted and gave them protection. But when she is there with Sriman Narayana, she wants her husband to be glorified by everyone. So she takes the role of Purushakara Bhuti, the person who is capable of doing the recommendation. And why are we taking this birth and death, birth and death? Because we have unimaginable amount of sin accumulated over millions and millions of births. All our sins are there categorized. Just like in a post office, a sorting box, the mail, if they have to sort, they will keep 1,000 boxes, small pigeonholes. And the letters they sort out and put in those respective things, so that the postman can collect and deliver. Again, we have taken a birth. We committed a mistake. The law of dharma will say, this mistake will go into that slot where already he has, say, Jiva Himsa. Okay, there is a slot that he did already 1,000. Add this to that count. Madhyapanam. Okay, already in his account there is a slot there. He already emptied 2,800 bottles of alcohol. Add this. Let the count keep increasing. Everything will go into those slots. And when we have to take birth again, these sins will come. Bhagavan, what all he does. Okay, for going through some of the karma, what birth is appropriate? Okay, as a dog. All right, how much karma you have to go through? As a dog, you can have a very mean life, or you can have a rich life, but still you are a dog. What do you mean? Being a dog, how can you have a rich life? Simple. You can become a dog and be a street dog, running from house to house for your food, getting the beatings of the people when you try to steal. Or you can still become a dog, be adopted by the president or prime minister, enjoy all royal comforts in the president's palace or the prime minister's palace. But still you are a dog, going to the life of a dog. So whatever compatible karmas we have to go through, Bhagavan packs into the janma. When Bhagavan is packing, when we take a human birth, you can be born as a millionaire, but not able to enjoy. You will become sick and always you live on medications. So you may be born as a millionaire. You can either enjoy or you cannot even enjoy. Millionaire with difficulties, millionaires without difficulties, poor people with difficulties, poor people without difficulties, or the fortunate people doing Sharanagati and trying to get out and attain salvation. So this Sri Mahalakshmi, attaching herself to the Supreme Lord Sriman Narayana, glorified as Lakshmi, Padma, Jalasitanaya, Vishnu Patni, Indira, etc. Even when Vedas are glorifying Mahalakshmi like that, the Jivatmas who surrender to Sri Mahalakshmi are sure to escape from this endless, repeated cycles of birth and death and birth and death, samsara sagaram. Because the amount of sins we have accumulated are forcing us. And only when you do Sharanagati, Bhagavan says, Aham tva sarvapapebhyo mokshayishyami. Otherwise, our 100 years of life is not enough to do prayashchittas by ourselves to wipe out all those sins. As you know, in the good olden days, the Mahatmas used to do thousands of years of tapasya, 1,000 years, 10,000 years, 20,000 years. And still people are unable to wash off their sins. Whereas in Bhagavan, in one stroke, aham tva sarva papebhyo, when mam ekam sharanam raja. He Mahalakshmi, tvami vahuhu kvachita pare tatpriyam lokanatham. Kintairantaha kalhamalinaihi kinchid tiryamagnaihi. Tatsamprichai vihrati harau sammukhinam shrutinam. Bhavarudhau bhagavati yuvam dampati daivatam naha. Tvam eva ahuhu kvatichit pade pare. Some devotees say, Hey Mahalakshmi, actually you are the Supreme Lord. Apare tatpriyam lokanatham. Apare, some other people, tatpriyam, your Supreme Lord Sriman Narayana, that he is the Lord of all the universes. Tvam eva ahuhu kvatichit apare tatpriyam lokanatham. These two look like mutually contradictory. Because if it is a supreme authority, there can be only one. And these arguments, sometimes people will win, sometimes people will lose because they could not recollect the appropriate Vedic passages to support their case. This kind of arguments are not going to help us in any way to attain Paramapadam, Sri Vaikuntham. Now let us put it this way. To make the people happy, to make that group happy, who consider Sriman Narayana is the supreme authority. Put it in a different way. Hey, Supreme Lord Sriman Narayana, you are exhibiting all these divine leelas of Srishti, Sthiti, Layam, creating the universes, maintaining the universes, dissolving the universes. You are doing them based on the authority of the Vedas or in the presence of the Vedas. Why? Only to please Sri Mahalakshmi. Whereas for the pure devotees, they will never argue Mahalakshmi is superior or Narayana is superior. The pure devotees who did Sharanagati, they will always think that Sri Mahalakshmi and Sriman Narayana are not two, but they are only one. They are not two, but they are one and only one divine couple. Divya Dampatis. There is no point in trying to draw a line between Sri Mahalakshmi and Sriman Narayana. Even the Supreme Lord doing Srishti Sthiti Laya is only to please Mahalakshmi. As you all know, for the ladies, so many things are done by their husbands only to please them. Since I started telling about Vasudha. Okay, yesterday he had an argument with her. But today, before she woke up, he will wake up, he will prepare the coffee, and he will say, "Here is coffee for you." Why is he doing it? To please his wife. When ordinary folks are there getting up and making a cup of coffee to please his wife, what about the Supreme Lord Sriman Narayana? That Supreme Lord Sriman Narayana is doing his games, sportive games, Leela, Leela Vibhuti, the sportive manifestation of all the 14 universes, Urdhvalokas, Adholokas, creating them, sustaining them as Mahavishnu, and dissolving all those universes as in the form of Rudra. That is why they say in the Vedas, Narayanat Brahma Jayate, Narayanat Rudro Jayate, Narayanat Indro Jayate, Narayanat Prajapataya Prajayante, Narayanat Dvadashaditya Rudra Vasavah Sarvani Chanda Gumsi. It is actually Sriman Narayana who, an amsha of him, will manifest as Brahma. An amsha of him will manifest as Rudra, Indra. But Sriman Narayana's creating the universes, maintaining them and dissolving them is only to please Sri Mahalakshmi. If that much is the importance Bhagavan Sriman Narayana is giving to Sri Mahalakshmi, how fortunate we should be to glorify the Divya Dampatis and receive their mercy. For us to consider that they are not two but one, you cannot separate Mahalakshmi from Sriman Narayana. You cannot separate Sriman Narayana from Sri Mahalakshmi. When you cannot separate, how can we say that two different persons? They are one and the same, representing and doing each and everything for the pleasure of the other person. They are two but acting like one. They are one acting like two. Both are possible for Mahalakshmi and Narayana. They are two, Sri Mahalakshmi, Sriman Narayana, acting as one, Divya Dampatis. They are one acting as two. The Divya Dampatis are only one, but they behave as though Sri Mahalakshmi is different, Sriman Narayana is different. Sri Mahalakshmi taking the role of recommending Purushakara Bhuti and Sriman Narayana taking the role of Ishvara, the Supreme Lord. All for the pleasure of playing the game. And by playing the game, who are the people who are enjoying? It's the players who are enjoying. Not the pawns that are there being moved left and right on the chessboard. It is the people who are playing the game who are enjoying. And those two players are Sri Mahalakshmi and Sriman Narayana. When Devi Devatas like Brahma, Rudra, Indra, etc. are shuttled, shunted, moved from one square to the other like chess pawns on the board of on the chessboard. Why talk about ordinary jivatmas like us? Therefore, enjoy doing Sharanagati at the feet of Sri Mahalakshmi. That Sri Mahalakshmi will recommend to Narayana, and that Narayana cannot refuse Sri Mahalakshmi. Since those two, as one divine couple, are the embodiments of universal compassion, they will accept our Sharanagati and will bless us with salvation, moksha prapti. That's how we understand the glory of Sri Mahalakshmi, as given by Mahatma Deshika in Sri Stuti. Go ahead, Ma, if you have some questions, please feel free. Ma, you can unmute your phones now.
Srimanarayana Swamiji Vasudha.
Okay, Vasudha. Did you get your coffee? Did you get your coffee this morning?
I'm going to tell my husband to make sure there's a coffee coming tomorrow at least.
You record it and play it before him.
Swamiji, there is suppose we offering to Lord. When we cook anything, we offer everything to Sriman Narayana before we consume. However, in case of fruits, say for example, we get the trays of mangoes. Any fruit the way maybe I'm doing wrong, but when we offer, we remove the stem and then wash it, remove the stem and then we offer it. For mangoes, if a crate of 6 or 8 comes home and then some family consumes 2 or 4 and the remaining is still sitting, do we still offer all of them at once or can we offer it over a couple of days?
Your choice. You can offer all of them on one day and enjoy, or you cannot afford to buy them every day because you need them for tomorrow. You cannot go out. As long as you do not mix the fruit that is offered back into the fruits, into the basket which are not offered, they're okay to be offered the next day.
Okay, Swamiji.
Yes, say for example, you went to the shop, you got a box of 20 mangoes. But suppose you offer all 20 mangoes today, you don't have anything to offer for tomorrow. So what you do?
Yes,
you take 2 of them, offer today, but don't mix it with the other mangoes that are not offered. Keep them separate. That way you can take again 2 more from the basket and offer tomorrow. Nothing wrong in that.
Okay, Srimanarayana.
But if you mix the fruits that are already offered with the ones that are not offered, that means you can no longer offer from that basket.
Got you. Yes, Swamiji.
Yeah, go ahead, Varadaraj.
Acharya, namaskaram, Acharya. Couple of questions actually. One is Ishvara Pattam. Ishvara is a Pattam, right, Acharya? Ravaneshwara, Shaneshwara, they call them Ishvaras. Ishvara is a Pattam or what is it, Acharya?
You see, Ishvara means the Supreme Lord. Like Bhagavan, one who is having all the 6 opulences. But out of respect, look at Vishnu Sahasranamam. It says, Veda Vyaso Bhagavan Rishihi Amrutanam Shuddho Bijam Shaktir Devaki Nandanaha Tizama Samaya Samiti Kavacham. Veda Vyasa is also addressed as Bhagavan. When Lord Rama went in the forest, when he reached the Bharadwaja Maharshi's ashramam, he says Bhagavan, he Mahatma. So sometimes just as the word Bhagavan is used out of respect, not only to Narayana, even to some Jivatmas, that means there you have to understand that it is only out of respect. Same way, Ishvara, the Supreme Lord, is meant only for Narayana. But sometimes they use it for other people. Now coming back to Shaneshwara, that is not correct. It is not Shaneshwara. The correct way of pronouncing it is called Shaneshchara. If you look at some of the horoscopes, etc., people are interested. They say the grahas are there changing their position from one planet to the other planet. If you look at the horoscopes, Lagna Kundali, etc. Sun takes only 1 year to move in all the 12 houses. That means 1 month, 1 Rashi. 1 month, 1 Rashi. Jupiter takes 12 years. So Jupiter takes 16 years. Whereas when it comes to Shani, Shani takes 30 years to complete one cycle. That means, suppose your Janma Rashi is Vrishabham. He will spend 2.5 years in Mesha Rashi, 2.5 years in your Vrishabha Rashi, and 2.5 years next to that Mithuna Rashi. So 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 7.5 years of Shani, they say. Yeri not Shani, 7 years. It's not 7.5. 7.5 years of Shani. Because Shani is moving very, very slowly. Very slowly. If it is Sun, Surya, the Rashi before, your Janma Rashi, the next Rashi, within 3 months out. Whereas Shani, 7.5 years for 3 Rashis. Therefore, Shanaish Chara, Shanaihi, very, very slowly, Chara, moving. Because he moves very slowly, he is called Shanaish Chara. Our people, unable to pronounce Shanaish Chara, made it as Shaneshwara. So the correct word is Shanaish Chara. But sometimes people use that as out of respect, that Ishwara Shabdam for anyone. Yes. Go ahead, sir.
Acharya, thank you, Acharya. One more question. Acharya, you were saying yesterday that Sri Rama is not that much Saulabhyam, but Sri Krishna is more Saulabhyam, has more Saulabhyam. But he was more close to, even Guha, right? I mean, Guha was a fisherman and he was close even to Vanaras like Sugriva and all. May I know how come he is not Saulabhyam? He doesn't have Saulabhyam.
However much we think Rama is very close to Guha. When Guha offered, Rama did not even eat. Look at Krishna's Saulabhyam. Krishna, he goes on the pretext of taking care of the calves with the other thousands of cowhead boys. What he does, the mothers have packed wonderful yogurt rice with different pickles. The boys will keep the yogurt rice in their left hand with the pickles between all the 5 fingers. Between the 5 fingers, you can keep 1, 2, 3, 4 types of pickles. Krishna Saulabhyam. Krishna will say, sitting and eating, enjoying the yogurt rice with pickles. Hey guys, look at the monkey on the tree. And these innocent boys will keep on looking at the tree. Where is the monkey? Where is the monkey? Where is the monkey? Not diverting their attention, Krishna. Sure, Krishna, where is the monkey? We want to see it. We want to see it. Krishna nicely, when they are looking at the tree, will eat the leftover already tasted yogurt rice from their left hand and bite their pickles. And when he completed, he says, oh, the monkey jumped from that tree to the other tree. You will show another tree. When the boys are turning to this side tree, he will turn to the other side of the boys and then empty their yogurt rice. Is there anywhere that kind of Saulabhyam seen in any of the incarnations? Tasting even the leftover rice from the hands of devotees. Look at the Gopikas. Unimaginably reciprocated. So that Saulabhyam is very different with Krishna. Go ahead.
Acharya, Sri Rama offered Sharanagati even to Ravanasura without being asked. But Sri Krishna... One
second. He did not offer. He said he will.
Yeah, he will.
But also he said in the case of Vishana, Sakrudeva Prapannaya Tavasmiti cha yachate. Only when you do the yachana, he will do. Even that's what Rama said. Okay. Without our begging, Bhagavan will not offer Sharanagati. That is where the difference between our Sampradayam and others. In our Sampradayam of Deshika, we must go and beg for Sharanagati.
But how about Ahalya and Jatayu, Acharya? They got moksham without being asked, right, Acharya?
How can you say that? Bhagavan is a Sarva Swatantra. In fact, Ahalya Devi's tapasya was so much. Read Valmiki Ramayana, then Ahalya came back to life. It is Rama who offered his prostrations first to Ahalya. Okay? Yes, she came back to life as a human being, thanks to the dust from the feet of Rama. But when she came back, Rama is the first one to offer his salutations to Ahalya. Now, Rama offered moksha to Jatayu because Jatayu sacrificed his life to protect Mahalakshmi. So Bhagavan is Swatantra, he can offer anything. You do that kind of sacrifice, you will also get moksha, Bhagavan will offer. So what is actually Sharanagati? Self-sacrifice. Well, Jatayu did self-sacrifice. In the case of Ravana, he only said, if only he comes and does Sharanagati, yes. But he did not, but Rama did not offer Sharanagati to him. Same thing with regards to Mahabharata also, Krishna's time. Unless and until Draupadi said, Rakshamam Sharanagatam, he did not offer her even a blouse bit. Until and after, Arjuna said, Sishyasteham Shadhimam Prapannam. Krishna, accept me as your student and I am surrendering to you. Only then Krishna started real Bhagavad Gita. Ashochya Nanvashochastvam Prajnavadam Shabhasasi Gatasu Akatasumsya Nanushochanti Panditaha. Until Arjuna said, even Krishna started general advice only. Kutastvam Kashmalavidam Vishame Samupastitam. He did not start real Bhagavad Gita. So that begging for Sharanagati is our duty. Only then he will respond. Clear?
Yes, Acharya. Thank you. This is one more question on...
Rama never gave Sharanagati without their sacrifice. Vibhishana came and begged, Tyaktva Dharamsha Putramsha Raghavam Samupashritam. Nivedayata Sugriva Vibhishana Upashritam, he says. Hey Sugriva, go and inform Rama. Vibhishana, the brother of Ravana, has left his family, children, everything in his place and came to surrender to Rama. Please beg Rama to accept my Sharanagati. So we have to beg for Sharanagati.
This Chit and Achit, Acharya, many of them say this, there are stones that breathe and they are classified as male and female. And Nrsimha Perumal came from the pillar that is depicting Antaryami nature, right? And Ahalya was in the form of stone and all. What exactly is Chit and Achit, Acharya? Like, stones also can breathe. Does it mean they are Achit? What exactly is the difference between a Chit and Achit, Acharya?
Narayana. Okay, Ma. So we'll continue again, Amma. This Sri Sthiti next Saturday, Sunday. And we'll meet again at 10:30 for continuing Ashtakshara Mantra.